What's going on, everyone? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics. Bear with me. I am under the weather right now. My voice probably sounds pretty interesting, but we had a big change that just came out and thought it would be interesting to make a video about it. Now, if you caught the news from the Comics and Crypto YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure that's the channel that it was. They interviewed Sean Caffrey with CGC, and he made a statement that CGC was going to be updating their census or their population report to begin breaking down the number of books that are graded by signature. So instead of just getting the single number that says X number of books have been signed for, say, Amazing Spider-Man 300 or Fantastic Four #1 or whatever it might be, now we actually get a breakdown of how many have been signed by that person or by a group of people, and broken out by grade, everything. It breaks it out for both witness signatures, so the CGC gold labels, as well as verified signatures, so the CGC JSA verified signatures. So let's start checking it out. Let's look at some of these big books out there that we know that there are a lot of signatures, a lot of things people are interested in, and how unique is that signature that they've got? So I thought it would be fun to start with the most graded book that is out there. We've got Amazing Spider-Man 300. So we're just going to jump down to a 9.8 here, and this is GPA. One of the things you can do is you can use this little link here, and it'll take you right over to the CGC census so you can see that book. So I've got one of the Amazing Spider-Man 300s pulled up here, a 9.8 white pages. Then you can go over to the census by clicking on this. Now, if you don't have GPA, instead, you can use the resources link, do CGC population report, and then you could just look up Amazing Spider-Man number 300. It's going to come up here. You can select that book here, and you're going to get the population report. So you can see this book has been graded a ton of times. We have 39,446 total graded copies. Haven't quite broken that 40,000 book barrier yet. But the big difference here is that we now have this little, link that highlights when you have either the CGC signature series or the CGC JSA verified signatures. And so we can go in and take a closer look at those now. So first, we're going to take a look at the CGC just signature series. And so this is in order of the signer's first name. And so you can see that it gives you the total number of books that include that signer. So this is the first thing. The first thing that you're taken to is a page that shows you the number of books that include that signer. But then you've got another link, and this will take you in to show the number of books that include that signer plus someone else. So if we go to, so you're going to get double counted here. That's just something to be aware of on this page. And that's why there's no total at the top here for this page. So say we go to Al Milgrom, then it's going to take us to the books that have been signed by him and other people. There's no copies that have been signed by just him, but you've got copies that have been signed by him and Stan Lee, Todd McFarlane, that kind of thing. And you can see over on the right, you've got the number of copies that have been signed by this group of people and what grade they fall into. So pretty good level of detail that is being provided here. Now, let's go check out one of the ones that's obviously been signed by a lot more people. We're going to go down to Todd McFarlane. And so here we've got Todd McFarlane. There are 5,043 copies of Amazing Spider-Man 300, roughly an eighth of the total graded copies have Todd McFarlane's signature on it. And if we go in and check out the details for this, this is where we start to get, just an idea of maybe how rare certain combinations of signatures are. Now, if it's just Todd, so just Todd's signature, 3,141, 125 9/8s, 467 9/6s, tons of them, tons of them. Now, when we start getting into things where they include, say, Stan Lee, that's where you start getting a lot more, a lot smaller sets. So let's go down. Let's see if we can find one where maybe it's just Todd and Stan. Let's see. So here's just Todd and Stan, still 875. We got 79 9.8s, 164 9/6s. So even just having Todd and Stan is, a relatively common book when you're talking about Amazing Spider-Man 300. Now, if you want Todd, Stan, and Tom Holland, only one. There's only one out there, and it is a 5.5. Or just Todd and Tom Hardy. Got three of them, even a 9/8. Someone's got a 9/8 of Todd and Tom Hardy. But I mean, really, like a lot of detail that is provided in here. Now let's check out the JSAs. So if we jump over to JSA, so these are the verified signatures for Amazing Spider-Man 300. Again, quite a few, but not nearly as much as what we have with the witnessed, and especially a lot of Todd McFarlane again. So we've got 162 verified books that include Todd McFarlane's signature. And again, if we go over to the, the details for this, you get to see that mix again. I mean, man, look at this. That one must have cost a decent amount to get verified. It's a lot of signatures that had to be verified. But 135 with just Todd. You've got 13 with Todd and Stan. I would say this is as good as I could have hoped for in terms of the level of detail. One thing I would love to see from CGC eventually is if you could actually click on the number and see the cert numbers, so that then we could maybe get to a point where we can see the actual books that are in there, since they're doing a lot of those scans now. Like that's the extra level, the extra step I'd love to see at some point. But this is actually a pretty solid update. A lot of times you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, I've heard the, CGC's software, what is put together to run all of this is a little outdated, and that's why when they make changes, we know some things can happen sometimes on the back end. We saw the census get all messed up over this summer. I actually had somebody reach out to me, Derek from the channel. He's a great watcher of the channel, and he actually looked into that when I was talking about the Detective Comics 27 that looked like had been added within the last month. It actually looks like that was an artifact of a problem with the census. And so, I mean, I don't like seeing that, but yeah, thanks for Derek for looking into some more detail on that. And it looks like that Tech 27 maybe wasn't added to the census and was actually an artifact of whatever problem happened this summer. Now let's check out another book. What other book, let's see, might, one that we see that has a lot of kind of interest in signatures. And I feel like Fantastic Four #1 is definitely one that I see that it's a big, massive key, and people are definitely looking for signatures on that book. So let's look at Fantastic Four #1. And this is one that we're probably also going to see some interest in, like the JSA side of things, to get an idea how many of like Kirby signatures maybe are on there that have been verified, and how unique that signature is. So first, let's go check out the signature series here. And so we've got on the signature series, we have 6 I didn't know there were. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? How were there 6 witness Kirby Sigs? I don't think that's possible. Huh? That can't be. Yeah, I don't know how that is possible. So I feel like maybe a bug. Is this a bug? Maybe they got some work to do. I don't know. I hadn't checked this beforehand. Did I do something wrong? Let's check here. Let's check here. Just make sure. I clicked on the CGC signature series. Now let's do CGC JSA. I'm going to close these ones out. So 254 Stan Lee, I get that. There can't be witnessed Jack Kirby signatures. It's impossible. Jack Kirby passed away in the 90s before CGC. So I don't know what is going on there. Is there some kind of crossover happening between witnessed and verified? Maybe. Man, this is when it starts to get messy. Let's see what the overlap is here. 155, 145, 135. 155, no 45. Okay, so it's not an overlap. I wonder if it's like this is one where you had a witnessed Stan Lee and then you had a Kirby signature on it and you sent it in for verification. But I thought that was supposed to convert the book to a JSA. Like you couldn't get the CGC signature series designation if it had a witnessed or a verified signature on there as well. I feel like there's a bug here. I don't know. What do you think? Something's wrong. Yeah, something's definitely wrong here, but I don't know. Feels like maybe they got a little work to do to figure this one out, or at least explain what's going on. So counts include all signature variations, include signed, signed in sketch, signed in remarks, signed in ink, signed in colored, signed twice. Comic with multiple signers will be counted once under each signer. Therefore, the quantities above reflect the number of unique autographs, not the number of comic books created. The counts in the total column include NG, but not PG. Yeah, so something's wrong here because this should not. Jack Kirby obviously should not be in the witnessed. Oh man, always something. You get excited for things, and then there's some bug or whatever that's worked out in here. But regardless, Fantastic Four #1. Out of the total 3,222 books that are out there on census, we have 254 that have been signed by Stan Lee. So a pretty decent percentage, about 6 or 7% roughly. Pretty high one, an 8.0. So a couple or 7.75s, 4.7s. But yeah, I mean, at least this is something I think that will be interesting to go through. There's definitely, I don't know, little wonkiness going on here. But regardless of this, I still think this is pretty cool. It's great to see some, I feel like this is, maybe the PSA pushing them, like CGC reacting now to having this competitor out there. What can they do to, improve the product that they're delivering? Obviously, still some issues, some little bugs to work out because clearly there cannot be a witness Jack Kirby signature. But hopefully enjoyed this. Go over CGC site, check this out. Maybe take your signed book, see where you stand on that census for the rarity of your book. Appreciate you listening to my horrible voice at this moment, and hopefully I'll feel better pretty soon and I can film some more videos. But hopefully enjoy this. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, and I will see you on the next one.